Denver revenge stories. Her affair stole my home. I struck. My wife called me at work. I sold our house. We're done. She laughed like I was nothing. That was the moment I stopped being her husband. If this story moved, you don't forget to like, drop a comment, and subscribe to Viora for more unforgettable stories that speak to the heart. I'm Daniel Whitaker, 47, a man who built a life from the ground up. Grew up in a Cleveland suburb, worked nights to pay for college, and turned a small accounting firm into a 7-figure business in Denver. Not a mogul, just a guy who knows a balance sheet and a hard day's work. My world looked solid. A 4-bedroom house in Cherry Creek, a navy blue Lexus SUV, and a wife who could light up a room, Kendra 35, with emerald eyes that sparkled under chandelier light, and a smile that made you believe in second chances. We'd been married 9 years. I thought we were untouchable. Kendra was my anchor. Sharp, ambitious, she ran her own marketing consultancy, charming clients with a laugh that closed deals. Early on, we'd spend weekends hiking in the Rockies, her hand in mine, dreaming of a cabin by a lake. "We'll get there, Dan," she'd say, kissing my cheek. I'd grin, pull her close and say, "We already are." That was the Kendra I'd have walked through fire for, but anchors drag, and I didn't see the chain snapping. It started slow. A year ago, Kendra got distant. Her consultancy took off, landing big corporate clients. She'd come home late, her phone buzzing with urgent emails. She'd brush it off, saying, "Just work, Dan." I trusted her. Built my life on it, but trust is a ledger, and every missed dinner was a debit. One afternoon, I was at my office crunching numbers for a client. My phone rang. Kendra. Her voice was ice. "Dan, I sold the house. I'm filing for divorce. It's over." She laughed sharp like a blade. "Don't bother coming home. I've handled everything." Click. My chest tightened, the room spinning. Sold the house, our house. The one we'd painted together, fought over curtains for. I sat frozen, her laugh echoing, mocking. I didn't call back, didn't scream, just stared at the Denver skyline, clouds heavy over the Rockies. Then I saw an email from our realtor confirming the sale. Kendra's signature, not mine. My name wasn't even on the deed transfer. She'd forged it. My wife didn't just betray me. She erased me. I could have lost it. Driven to her office, demanded answers. But I'm Daniel Whitaker. I don't crack, I calculate. This was no cheating wife story. It was a heist, and I was going to take it all back. Kendra wasn't alone in this. I knew it before I knew it. Shawn, 46. Her new client was the shadow behind her. Shawn, my old college roommate, the guy who'd crashed on my couch when his startup tanked. I'd lent him money, got him back on his feet. Now he was a slick VP at a tech firm, all charm and tailored suits. We'd stayed close dinners, golf, him calling me brother. Until now, I drove to a diner off Colfax, the neon sign buzzing, and opened my laptop. Kendra's iCloud was still synced to our shared account. Rookie mistake. There they were, texts, photos, emails. Kendra and Shawn at a rooftop bar, her lips on his. A selfie in a hotel suite, her dress half unzipped. Emails about our new start, and a wire transfer, $1, $2 million from the house sale to an account I didn't recognize. My hands shook, coffee cold. This wasn't just an affair, it was a plan. I didn't confront her. Not yet. I called my assistant Marie, a 60-year-old firebrand who'd seen me through every storm. "Clear my week," I said, "and get me Ellie Harper." Ellie was a lawyer, ex-prosecutor, sharp as a razor. We met at a bar downtown, the kind where deals die quietly. "What's the play, Dan?" she asked, sipping gin. "Kendra sold our house. Forged my name. Divorcing me. I want her buried." Ellie's eyes glinted. "How deep?" "Coffin deep." She nodded, took my retainer, and got to work. I hired a PI, Nate Sullivan, a grizzled ex-cop with a nose for dirt. Find everything I told him. Kendra, Shawn, the money. Nate delivered in 10 days. A folder thicker than a novel, bank records, showing Kendra funneling the house money through her consultancy to an offshore account. Photos of her and Shawn at a closing meeting with the buyer, laughing like I was a punchline proof. She'd forged my signature, bypassing joint ownership laws. Nate even found texts, "Dan's clueless, we're golden." My blood boiled, but I stayed ice cold. Kendra wanted to meet to finalize the divorce papers. She picked a cafe in Lodo, public neutral. I showed up early, Ellie's advice in my head. Stay calm, let her dig her grave. Kendra strolled in, radiant, Shawn on her arm. He smirked, shaking my hand like we were pals. "Sorry it came to this, brother," he said, his grip smug. Kendra's eyes danced, her smile a taunt. Let's make this quick, Dan, she said, sliding papers across sign. And you can move on. I didn't touch them. Just lean back, sipping coffee. You sold our house, Kendra. My name's on the deed. Care to explain? Her smile faltered. Shawn shifted his charm, slipping. It's her house, too, he said, voice tight, legal. Is it? I pulled out a single page. Nate's deed analysis highlighting the forgery. This says otherwise. Kendra's face drained. You're bluffing. She snapped, but her voice shook. Am I? I stood leaving the papers. See you in court, that night. I sat in my hotel. Denver's lights flickering outside. Ellie called. We've got her. Forgery's a felony. The bank transfers money laundering. Shawn's tied to it too. You want to push, I said, my voice low, all the way. The first hearing was a slaughter. Ellie presented the deed, the text, the transfers. Kendra's lawyer, a weasel named Paul Vance, stammered, claiming miscommunication. Shawn sat behind her, face pale. No smirk. The judge, a no-nonsense woman in her 60s, wasn't buying it. Mrs. Whitaker. This looks like fraud, explain. Kendra's eyes darted to me, panic flaring. It was a mistake, she said, voice thin. I thought Dan agreed. Ellie pounced. A mistake? You forged his signature. Moved $1 $2 million offshore. That's no typo. The gallery gasped. Shawn's jaw clenched. The judge called a recess, ordering a financial audit. Kendra's smile was gone, her confidence dust. I walked out, the Rockies looming, feeling no joy. Just resolve. Nate's next report landed that night. A bombshell. The offshore account wasn't just Kendra's. It was linked to Shawn's firm, funneling cash to a shell company. And there was a third player. Kendra's old mentor, Lillian Carver, a corporate shark who'd trained her. Lillian had a history of shady deals. And Nate found emails she'd pushed Kendra to secure the bag and dump the deadweight. Me, I poured a bourbon, the hotel room dim. Kendra wasn't just cheating. She was a pawn in a bigger game, and I was about to flip the board. The bourbon burned, but it didn't warm the cold knot in my chest. Kendra's forged signature, Shawn's smug handshake, and Lillian Carver's emails swirled in my head, a storm I couldn't outrun. This revenge story wasn't just about a cheating wife. It was a chess game, and I was 3 moves from checkmate. Or so I thought. Denver's skyline glittered outside my hotel window, indifferent as I stared at Nate Sullivan's latest report. Lillian wasn't just Kendra's mentor. She was the queen on the board, and I'd been playing blind. I'm Daniel Whitaker, 47. A man who balances ledgers and buries betrayals. Kendra thought she'd outsmarted me, selling our house, laughing with Shawn like I was a footnote. She didn't know I'd cracked her lies wide open. But Lillian's shadow changed everything. I wasn't just fighting my wife, I was up against a machine. Morning hit hard. I was in my Lexus, cutting through Denver's dawn traffic to my office. Whitaker accounting buzzed, phones ringing, interns scrambling, but my focus was razor sharp. Marie, my assistant, slid a coffee across my desk. You look like you're planning a war, she said, her eyes narrowing. Close enough, I replied. Flipping open Nate's file, Ellie called. She's ready, Marie said. Court's at noon. Says you've got Kendra pinned. I nodded, but pinned wasn't enough. I wanted her broken. Not out of spite, but justice. Lillian's emails hinted at a bigger play. A network of shell companies, fake contracts, and offshore accounts stretching beyond Kendra and Shawn. My house money was just a drop in their bucket. Nate's report dug deeper. Lillian Carver, 58, wasn't just a corporate shark. She was a predator. Her past was littered with fraud allegations, dodged through loopholes and high-priced lawyers. She'd mentored Kendra at her first job, shaping her ambition into a weapon. The emails showed Lillian pushing Kendra to secure the asset, our house, and cut the liability. Shawn was her lapdog, funneling funds through his tech firm to Lillian's shells. But there was a twist. Kendra had been skimming small amounts hidden in her consultancy's books, siphoned to a separate account. Was she double-crossing Lillian or hedging her bets? I didn't have time to guess. Ellie Harper, my lawyer, met me at a diner off I-25. Her briefcase packed. We've got Kendra and Shawn on forgery and laundering, she said, her voice cool. The judge is livid, but this Lillian angle, you sure you want to pull that thread? Dead sure, I said, sliding her Nate's emails. She's the puppet master. Kendra's just the strings. Ellie's eyes scanned the pages, narrowing. This is a hornet's nest. Dan Lillian's connected politicians. CEOs. If we go after her, it's not just court, it's war. Then gear up. I said, my jaw tight. I'm not backing down. Court was a pressure cooker. Kendra sat across the room, no Shawn. This time he was under investigation, his firm frozen. Her face was pale, her confidence gone. The judge didn't waste time. Ms. Harper, your evidence, Ellie stood lethal. Your Honor, we've uncovered a broader scheme. She presented the offshore transfers, Kendra's forged signature and Shawn's firm's role. Then she dropped the bomb. These tied to Lillian Carver, a known associate of Mrs. Whitaker, orchestrating the fraud. The gallery gasped. Kendra's head snapped up, eyes wide with panic. Her lawyer, Paul Vance, scrambled. This is speculation. No proof links, Ms. Carver. We have emails Ellie cut in, sliding them to the judge. Ms. Carver instructed Mrs. Whitaker to sell the house and move the funds. The judge's face darkened. Mrs. Whitaker cared to explain. Kendra's voice trembled. I didn't know it was illegal. Lillian said it was business. I trusted her. Trusted her, Ellie pressed. You forged your husband's signature. That's not trust. That's intent. Kendra's eyes met mine, pleading. For a second I saw the woman I'd hiked the Rockies with, her laugh echoing in the pines. But that woman was gone. The judge called a recess, ordering a deeper audit. Kendra left head down, Paul trailing like a scolded dog outside. Nate was waiting in his truck. Got something new? He said, handing me a flash drive. Lillian's meeting someone tonight, downtown private club. My guy's got ears on it. Who? I asked, my pulse quickening. Don't know yet, but it's big. And Kendra's there. My stomach dropped. Kendra's still in the game. After court I took the drive, my mind racing. Get me in, I said. Nate raised an eyebrow. Risky. Dan, this ain't a game for accountants. I'm not playing, I said, my voice ice. That night I slipped into the club, a sleek spot in Lodo where Denver's elite hid their sins. Nate's guy, a bouncer named Ray, got me past the velvet rope. I wore a borrowed suit blending with the crowd suits. Martini's fake laughs. Kendra was at a corner table, her dress red, her face tense. Lillian sat across 58 but looking 40, her eyes cold as steel. A third figure male, late 50s, silver hair, leaned in, his voice low. I couldn't hear, but Ray's earpiece fed me scraps. The Whitaker deal. Clean it up. No loose ends. My blood ran cold. Loose ends. Me. I snapped a photo with my phone, sent it to Nate ID, this guy I texted. Kendra's eyes flicked up, catching mine across the room. Her face froze, panic flashing. She stood excusing herself and headed for the bar. I followed, my heart pounding. Dan, she whispered, grabbing my arm. You shouldn't be here. Neither should you. I shot back, my voice low. Who's the suit? She glanced back, terrified. You don't get it. That's Richard Blaine. He owns half this city. If he knows you're digging. I stepped closer, towering over her. You sold our house. Kendra laughed while you did it. Now you're scared. Her eyes welled, but her voice was steady. I didn't want this. Lillian pushed me. Said it was the only way to climb. I loved you, Dan. Loved me. I laughed, bitter. You loved the money. She flinched but didn't deny it. Leave, Dan. Please, they'll hurt you. I turned, walking out before I lost control. In the Lexus, Nate called. Richard Blaine. Real estate tycoon, shady as hell, suspected in fraud, never charged. Lillian's his fixer. Kendra's their front. My grip tightened on the wheel. This wasn't just a revenge story. It was a syndicate, and I was their target. Back at the hotel, I opened the flash drive, audio from the club. Lillian's voice crisp. Whitaker's a problem, he's got proof. Handle it, Richard's reply. Permanently if needed. Kendra silent, but her presence damning. My hands shook. Handle it. They weren't just stealing my money, they wanted me gone. I called Ellie. We're escalating, I said, forwarding the audio. Blaine's involved, he's the top. She whistled. Dan, this is mafia level. You need protection. I need leverage. I said, can you use this? Maybe, she said, but we need more. Blaine's untouchable without hard evidence. Nate had one more lead, a safe deposit box in Kendra's name opened a month before the house sale. It's at First Denver Bank. He said, my guy can get you in, but it's a one-shot deal. I didn't hesitate. The next morning I was at the bank. Nate's guy, a locksmith named Carl, bypassing security. The box held a ledger handwritten detailing every transaction in Lillian's network. Kendra's notes meticulous, named Blaine, Shawn, and others' dates, amounts, accounts. But there was a twist. A letter folded in Kendra's handwriting. Dan, if you're reading this, I'm sorry. I took the money to run, not from you, from them. I love you. dated a week ago, my breath caught, run from Lillian Blaine. Or was this another lie, a trap to throw me off? I pocketed the ledger and letter, my mind spinning, Kendra playing both sides. Or begging for a way out. Court was hours away. I handed Ellie the ledger, keeping the letter. Use it, I said, but hold Blaine's name for now. She nodded, wary. You're walking a tightrope, Dan. Then don't let me fall, I said, my voice steel. The hearing was chaos. Ellie presented the ledger, tying Kendra and Shawn to Lillian's shells. The judge ordered arrests. Her gavel a thunderclap. Kendra's face was ash. Her eyes locked on me, not with hate but fear. Shawn was gone, detained. Lillian wasn't there, but her shadow loomed outside. Nate pulled me aside. Lillian's in the wind. Blaine too. My guy lost them in Boulder, but Kendra's talking to the feds. Says she'll flip if they protect her. I froze. Flip on Blaine, that could end it or get her killed. What's she saying? I asked. Everything Nate said. Names, deals, accounts. She's scared, Dan says. Blaine's got hitmen. My chest tightened. Kendra scared. The letter burned in my pocket. I loved you. Was it real or a final play? I didn't know, but I knew one thing: this wasn't over. The Denver dawn was gray, the Rockies looming like silent judges. Kendra's letter. I love you. Dan sat heavy in my pocket, its words a riddle I couldn't solve. She was talking to the feds, ready to flip on Richard Blaine, the untouchable tycoon behind her fraud with Lillian Carver and Shawn Trevors. This revenge story had spiraled into a high-stakes chess game, and I was one wrong move from losing everything. Lillian and Blaine were in the wind. Kendra was a wild card, and I was running out of time. I'm Daniel Whitaker, 47, a man who turns numbers into power. Kendra thought she'd erased me, selling our house, laughing with Shawn like I was nothing. I'd clawed back, exposing their lies in court, but Lillian's network and Blaine's shadow were bigger than I'd imagined. The ledger from Kendra's safe deposit box was my ace, but her letter, her plea, made me question everything. Was she a liar, a victim, or both? I needed answers, and I needed them now. I met Nate Sullivan, my PI, at a truck stop off I-70, the air thick with diesel and coffee. He slid a burner phone across the table. Kendra's been texting someone, he said, his voice low. Not the feds, not Blaine, someone else. My guy traced it to a burner in Boulder, who? I asked, my pulse quickening. No name yet, but they're close. And they know you're digging. My jaw tightened. Another player. I pocketed the phone, its screen showing a single message. Dan's too close. Handle it. Sent last night. My blood ran cold. Handle it. The same phrase from Lillian's audio. This wasn't just a revenge story. It was a hunt, and I was the prey. I called Ellie Harper, my lawyer, from the Lexus Denver's skyline fading in the rear view. Kendra's talking to someone, I said, forwarding the text. We need to move fast. Ellie's voice was sharp. The feds are circling Blaine, but he's slippery. Kendra's deal depends on her intel. If she's playing both sides, we're screwed. What's your play? Find the burner's owner, I said, and get me into Kendra's holding. Risky, Ellie warned. She's under guard, one wrong move and you're compromised. Then make it right, I snapped. Hanging up, I wasn't backing down. Not now. By noon, Ellie pulled strings, getting me a supervised visit at the federal holding facility. Kendra sat behind glass, her face gaunt, her emerald eyes dull. She picked up the phone, her voice soft. Dan, why are you here? I held up the burner's text, my voice steel. Who's this? Who's handling me? Her eyes widened, panic flaring. I don't know, I swear I've been giving the feds everything. Blaine, Lillian, the accounts. Then why's someone texting about me? I leaned in the glass, cold. You're holding out, Kendra. Last chance. She shook her head, tears welling. It's not me. It's my sister Tessa. My stomach dropped. Tessa, Kendra's sister, Tessa Monroe. 32. A free-spirited artist in Boulder we'd barely seen since our wedding. She'd always been distant, flaky, but harmless. Or so I thought. Tessa's in on this. I asked, my voice low. Not like you think, Kendra whispered. Lillian got to her years ago. Small cons, debts. Tessa's trapped just like me. She's scared Dan Blaine's got her on a leash. I stared, the pieces shifting. Tessa, a pawn in Lillian's game or another liar? Where is she? I demanded. I don't know. Kendra said, her voice breaking. She stopped answering me. Dan, please find her, save her. I stood the phone, clattering, save her after everything. But Kendra's eyes raw. Desperate echoed her letter. I love you. I didn't trust her, but I couldn't walk away. Nate was on Tessa's trail by dusk. She's in Boulder, he said, calling from a stakeout rented a loft, but she's not alone. Got a guy with her mid-40s armed? My guy saw them with Lillian last week. Blaine's muscle, I asked, gripping the wheel as I sped toward Boulder. Maybe, Nate said. Or Tessa's handler. Either way, it's hot. You want in? Yeah, I said, my voice hard. Now Boulder's streets were quiet, the flatirons dark against the sky. Nate's van was parked near Tessa's loft, a dim light flickering inside. He handed me a comms earpiece. Ray's inside, posing as maintenance. Tessa's there with the guy. No sign of Lillian or Blaine. I nodded, my heart pounding. Get me close. Ray buzzed me in the loft's hallway, smelling of paint and weed. Voices leaked through Tessa's door, hers high and tense, and a man's low, threatening. Blaine's done waiting, he growled. Whitaker's gotta go, I froze, signaling Ray. He kicked the door gun drawn, hands up, he barked. Tessa screamed, dropping a glass. The man, stocky, scarred, a pistol on his hip, lunged for it. I tackled him, slamming him to the floor. Ray cuffed him, Nate rushing in. Tessa backed against the wall, her eyes wild. Dan. What the hell? Shut up, I snapped, standing. Who's this? Blaine's hitman. She shook her head, trembling. His name's Vince. He works for Lillian. They made me watch you. I didn't want to, Dan, I swear. Watch me. I stepped closer, my voice ice. You texted about handling me. Explain. Tessa's voice cracked. Lillian's got my loans, my life. She said if I didn't help, they'd ruin me. I just sent updates where you were, what you did. I didn't know they'd kill me. I finished, my chest tight. Kendra's flipping to the feds. You're next, Tessa talk. She nodded, tears streaming. I'll tell them everything. Lillian's meeting Blaine tomorrow. Vale Private Lodge. It's their last deal before they bolt. Nate hauled Vince to the van, Ray calling the feds. I stared at Tessa, her face a mirror of Kendra's fear, guilt, desperation. You're done lying, I said, turning away. Get her to the feds, I told Nate. The next morning, court was a circus. Ellie used the ledger, and Tessa's statement linking Lillian and Blaine to a decade of fraud. The judge issued warrants, her voice steel. Kendra sat silent, her deal with the feds sealed. Shawn was indicted. His firm collapsing. Lillian and Blaine were still ghosts, but the net was tightening. I drove to Vale, Nate's intel guiding me. The lodge was secluded, snow dusting the pines. Feds were en route, but I couldn't wait. I slipped inside, blending with staff, and spotted Lillian in a private room. Blaine across from her. A briefcase sat open. Cash drives, passports, Whitaker's done. Lillian said, her voice cold. Vince failed, but we're clean. Blaine's eyes narrowed. Kendra's talking, Tessa too. Cut them loose. I snapped a photo, sent it to Ellie. The feds stormed in minutes later, cuffing Lillian and Blaine. I slipped out, the snow falling, my breath visible. It was over. Or was it back in Denver? Kendra was released on probation. Her testimony key. Tessa vanished, starting over. The feds said, I sold the Lexus, moved to a condo, kept Whitaker accounting running. Marie kept me grounded. Ellie kept me sharp. The feds hunted Blaine's network, but I let them. Nights were heavy. Kendra's letter haunted me. I love you. Was it true or a con? I'd never know. Lillian's words. Whitaker's done echoed a reminder. Trust is a gamble I didn't hate. Kendra didn't love her. I just moved on. What would you have done? Chased Kendra. Forgiven Tessa, or walked away like me? Did I win justice or just bury pain? Trust is a ledger. Balance it with truth, like what you heard. Hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to Viora, because the next story might just be your favorite one yet.